Right. So, if you still have a power bill in 2022, this day and age, why haven't you considered going solar yet? Because if you can afford your power bill as of now, as of lately, the ridiculous rising rates of power that just doubled on us from the highest in the continental U.S. Only Hawaii pays more for electricity. Sam Evans Brown wrote this article in the Union Leader. Only Hawaii pays more for electricity. That's nuts. They just doubled our rates, made it the highest in the country, and then doubling our rates again like next month, anytime now. It's ridiculous. So if you don't at least consider it, you're shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, out of spite, you should want to at least look into it, because due to losing revenue, Eversource said in the Union Leader as well, in the newspaper as well, that, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but hey, I know we just ripped you off the highest rates in history in the country, but we have to continue to keep doing it for the next 5 years at this trajectory, due to the losing revenue from the $2 billion global warming bill. So if for our loyal customers, we have to continue to rip you off if you don't switch to solar. So you should probably look into switching to solar. It's what they're telling you. Because if you don't, we're going to rip you off to the point where we're getting priced out of power like in UK. My friend is already paying. My friend Steve, I just went last night to my first appointment here in New Hampshire. I've been working virtually for California for the past year, but now I'm working in my back hometown, my neighborhood. Because, like I said, we have the highest in the continental U.S. That's ridiculous. And it's going up again like next month. And then, so that's twice in a year. And if they keep doing that, the same trajectory for 5 years, $200 be over well over 1,000. God, I can't even imagine. I can't even fathom it. It's ridiculous. It's insane. So, yeah, forget throwing money away down the toilet when you can get it free from the sun. And only have a panel bill on your roof or on a pole in your yard if you have a half acre or more. And only have a panel bill that's 50% less expensive on average and goes away completely in no more than 10 to 12 years on average, because of the fact that the government's incentivizing you 30% of the bill back. It's amazing. So yeah, there's just too many reasons not to consider it. It just seems like a fucking no-brainer at this point. I mean, really. It's like common sense. I mean, I just want to show you in black and white you're personally exact, based off your usage, monthly, annual chart usage for the year, how much you can exactly save when we cut your bill in half immediately. 60%, 40%, only 20%, but whatever. You'll never have to worry about the rising rates again. In fact, your bill's not going to go up, it's going to go down, it's going to diminish completely. It's an investment, not a bill. You're not renting your power anymore, you're owning it. You're purchasing it forever. So that 10 years of bill, it's really an investment that pays for itself. And the electric company ends up paying you for the power as well that you don't use at the end of every month and the end of the year, because these panels are more efficient than ever before. The panels 50 years ago still worked just as well. There's a little degradation. It degrades every year, like 3%. But the new panels are the newest technology that just came out this past year, 6 months ago. Most efficient panels ever, more efficient than ever before. They absorb more power from the sun than you'll ever use, that you can ever consume. That's how powerful these panels are. So you store the extra power you don't use to the grid as a bank, and they give it back to you as credits when you do need it at night, or when it rains or snows, or in the winter months even, when the sun's not high enough up in the air to give you enough power to last a day. So that's why those 2-3 months that are really low sun, the rest of the year you're overcompensating for it. You're making up for it, and then some for the following year. You get credit, $2,000 credit or whatever. So there's just too many reasons not to at least consider it, and you gotta consider it sooner than later. I mean, at least let me just generate you the cash savings report. Show you in black and white. 9 out of 10 people, when they're seeing, is believing. I don't want you to take my word for it. This is huge. Switching providers. It sounds almost too good to be true. Like, wait a minute, you're paying me to switch? It's a government incentive. When they don't want you to do something, they tax the crap out of it, like smoking cigarettes. When they want you to do something, they incentivize the crap out of it, like switching to solar. Well, I mean, which we technically should want to look into anyway because of the grid being failing and overworked, overdue for an overhaul since the 1950s, 70 years. So I mean, but no one really cares that it's due and everything. We don't experience blackouts as much as the rest of the world. You know what I mean? But hitting our pockets. Nah, they care about that, you know what I mean? So now that the electricity is so ridiculously high and it's not stopping anytime soon, it's actually going up again very soon here, shortly, and continuing at that trajectory, $1,000 or more. I mean, my friend Steve's already paying $1,000. I went to his house last night, and we were able to cut his bill in half, almost 40%, down to $600, and then $690, I think, so like 35%. But still, he doesn't have to worry about ever going up. He's literally saving, as of now, today's standards, 250, $250,000, $250,000, fucking dollars. It's amazing. And that's what today's standards. It's not calculating in the fact that it's about to go double again next month, and then double again next year, twice a year at this trajectory. That's insane. So it's like there's a freight train coming, they say. Global energy crisis, they say. It's not. It's out in the open. The cat's out of the bag. We know about the war, and we know about the pipelines blowing up, and we know about the 50% renewable energy by 2030, and we know about all the great resets and crashing the economy on purpose so they can build a new one up from the ashes, pretty much. They're doing this on purpose, and it's trickling our way. Right now it's bad in the UK, and they're shutting off the lights in Norway and Belgium, and they're regulating the usage, consumption, and yeah, it's bad. And it's coming our way because Biden keeps sending all our oil overseas to Ukraine. It's messed up. So that's affecting supply and demand price here at home, obviously. And that's why they keep jacking up our rates. It's ridiculous. So I mean, why haven't you considered it yet? If you know what's going on, if you don't now, you know. This is why you should consider it, because it's seriously. I used to save lives physically in the army after Hurricane Katrina, just handing out water because they had no water, no power. People were done. It took them 7 days, George, but the government. Don't trust the government to help you out. I was in the army, man. 7 days just to get them water. And they knew the storm was coming. They knew it was a Category 5, the worst ever. And they knew the levees they knew it was going right towards New Orleans, right up the Gulf Coast. And they had plenty of time to tell people to evacuate. But they don't have water on standby, trucks of water ready to go for the people that can't evacuate, that can't afford to go anywhere, or don't have any family to go to. So they have to bunker down in this New Orleans Saints Superdome, getting raped and murdered and dying of dehydration. It was only 7 days. That's insane. So yeah, we gotta get prepared as best as possible, as quickly as possible. We should want to, for many reasons, out of spite of these evil, greedy electric companies. Dirty too, ripping us off for no reason. We can get it for free from the clean God-given sun. That's more powerful than anything. Like Elon Musk says, he's like, we could power the world 10 times over with the amount of panels with the sun, the power of the sun, and we'd only need like what do you say, like I forget what state, the size of some state to power the whole planet, the whole country or whatever. So I mean, but the amount of yeah. So anyway, what the heck? Yeah, so there's just too many reasons not to consider it. So if you haven't considered it yet, this is why you should consider it as soon as possible. Because the first step is just to show you in black and white, so seeing is believing. Then 9 out of 10 people want to switch once they do see it. And then B, everyone wants to switch as it is, and they're already a backlog of 2-3 months to get your house roofed on. I found out last night. And his power consumption is too big for all the panels to fit on his roof, so he has to get a pole, which is what he wanted anyway. A lot of people don't want it on their roofs. No big deal. As long as you have half an acre, you can get a pole. And but a pole is 3 to 4 months out. So you're looking at 4 months out. So anyway, the first step is just getting the exact cash savings report generated so you can see it all in black and white immediately. 25 years, 10 years, long run. And from there, you get a site survey to come out and inspect and make sure it's possible, feasible, and not the trees and all that, lighting. And then from there, you're just waiting. And while you're waiting, you can always shop around and get a price match guarantee and all that, because we got the best. Actually, not only do we have the best top tier one solar panels, like I was telling you, just came out more efficient than ever before. They don't degrade either. No degradation. Well, I mean, less than 0.5%. So like nothing. So like after 30 years, maybe 15% less powerful. But it doesn't matter in the long run because it's still covering all your power, because they actually oversize the system, give you 110% of the power you need. That way you can upscale the power usage to be living more comfortably in the summer with the AC, or more heat in the winter, or get an EV car. Because that's another thing. If you want to get an EV car, you can't, because the outage, the wattage, the system for your home as of now, based off the old system, it's just not strong enough to power a car. You'll crash the system. You'll blow the fuse box or whatever, you know what I mean? So you actually have to upgrade to solar in order to get a Tesla charger station or a battery EV charging station at home, if you consider, which is another thing you can consider. They want you to go electric as well, incentivize you to do that too. So, or if you don't, they're going to keep punishing you by raising gas to $12, maybe even more. It's already $8 in California. It's insane. So what they're doing is deliberately crashing the economy and squeezing everyone out, and talking about people dying, starvation, and freezing to death because they're not even allowed to like have enough power because of the oil supply and demand of the oil pipelines getting blown up and only having one oil pipeline, and how regulated and all that. So not only are they telling them they can't heat their homes, but then they're telling them you can't even use wood to burn the stove because of global warming. Get the heck out of here. So you can tell it's all orchestrated and messed up like that. So I mean, the only thing we can do is realize the bigger plan, the end game here at work, this great reset goal of theirs, and do something about it by getting prepared, or at least looking into it, at least humor yourself and say, what if he's right? What if it's possible? What if I can get off the failing grid and save well over 100, 200 grand as of today's standards? For example, the average $200 bill, no more average $200 bill. This is when I first started selling solar last year, before the rising rates were jacked up. So the average $200 bill, cut that in half, that's $100 a month you save. That's $1,200 a year. 1,200 times 30 is upwards of $72,000. 72 grand as of today. Well, no, that was as of a year ago almost. So now, as of today, with all the rising rates and inflation and its trajectory of what they said they're doing and Eversource is doing in the paper, they're in the middle of doing as we speak, actually. Yeah, that's scary. Can you imagine? You're saving well over double that. So 72 grand, probably double that, because they're gonna, 5 times that, because they're 5xing the power bill as we speak. In the next 5 years, they're already went up twice in this year, pretty much, almost. So with that, it's gonna make the savings even crazy higher. So like my friend Steve, he's gonna be saving $250,000 in 25 years. That's 250 grand as of today's standards. But again, they're about to jack it up even more, and double that, and double that, and double that. So he's really gonna be saving at least $500,000. So I'm here to help save lives financially. I used to save lives physically. I did save lives physically. Now I'm helping save lives financially. You understand? Let's do the math. You know what I mean? It's all black and white. And I want to show you that, generate you the cash savings report. Show you exactly, because then you'll know 9 out of 10 people say, no brainer, sign me up, let's switch. But the sooner the better, because it's the backlog, because everyone wants this. So see this video, share it with your friends, and text me so we can get you the cash savings report. We just need the graph, and I send it to my boss, and he crunches the numbers and see how many panels you need and see how expensive it's gonna be. Whatever it is, it's gonna be less than you're paying now. So whatever you're paying right now, as of now, you can afford to go solar because it's half as expensive immediately. So they're taking care of the installation, the engineering, the design, the permits, and everything, the installation, everything's included. And then they're even paying 30% of it. So it's like a no-brainer. And it's a way to save face. You know what I mean? Save our way of life. For civilization. Not to lose power, not to lose life, and to survive and thrive. Amen.